Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya. Om. Namaste everyone. Helen, you are still in India, I believe? Okay, very good.
Yes, I'm still here until Sunday.
Beautiful.
Having a great time. I went to Ganga Ma's, going to her satsangs.
Yeah.
And I guess I could say the feeling I'm having is my worldly thoughts have kind of merged into the self.
Very good. Looks like you have a big aura around you.
I do? I can't tell. You can tell?
Yeah.
Right. That's good. I hope it stays then. Thank you. I've been spending a lot of time with Josh.
Thank you.
Does he have a big aura too?
Very good. I'm just looking for Neelakantan ji. Anyway, it looks like he's not there. But anyway, we can continue. Anyone wants to talk about something or the other? Ask. Okay, let's try to see if still we couldn't get it. What is the issue here? And if you see the whole game, it is you have to know self in awakening state with body. If we can work how to de-identify with the body, that's all we need to do, and whatever is actually there will be known. And this de-identification is so difficult. Not because it is really difficult, because we also have a lot of interest in it. Just like our any habit, smoking, alcohol, tobacco chewing, watching movies, or whatever, sports we are so much interested in, or whatever it is. To get rid of a habit is so difficult. This is also just a habit, identification with body. We all possess this very high level of consciousness. High level because it is raw, undivided, undifferentiated, even so raw that it has no name, no form. Even with body, with a name, anyone knows that our bodily identification drops. Whether it happens purely as a matter of grace pulled into that higher energy. Or what we say, we follow some practice, some sadhana, and it happens. Whatever way it happens, that dvij, the duality finishes. And who creates the duality? Only ego creates duality. And how it creates duality? By identifying with this body. The moment we identify with a body, we are in trouble. Then there are others. Then there are others. Okay, when we watch a dream, let's take example of dream. I love the example of dream because there things are more clear. Do you see any dream in which you don't have a body and others have a body? So problem is not others or the word. Problem is body. Identification with body. Whether in you are in waking state or in dream state, we have a body and then others have a body. If we don't have a body, there will be no others, no other body. Just like in deep sleep, no body identification, no word, no people, and complete bliss. Now the question comes, how can we be in no body, no identity, in spite of having a body? Because in waking we are seeing a body and we identify with the body and we are seeing others. Even now in this group there are so many 50 plus people and we can see each other as forms. But let's say you have no identification with your own body. What would you see? Would you see others? Where there would be multiplicity of forms? Or you will only see that everywhere? Because when we go deep into the truth, there is only that. You call it self, Brahman, Shiva, Atman, Paramatman. Doesn't matter. But that is only there. And that which is there in my realization is everywhere. And it's immovable because it is everywhere. Non-perishable because it is all the time. Now you compare with your mind. It is moving all the time, isn't it? Sometimes it moves slow, sometimes fast. How do you gauge mind's speed? By the speed of thoughts. How fast this speed of thought is. And mind is not there all the time, we know. Sometimes in ecstasy, there is no mind. In deep sleep, there is no mind. So that means it changes. It is not consistent. It's moving. And it comes and goes. But our Swarup, our real nature, is not moving, not changing, not comes and goes. Can we identify with that? Either of the two we can do. De-identify with body or else identify with that. Now, what I understood and what I feel is much easier is to identify with that. De-identifying with body is more difficult, because to convince even intellectually is so difficult when we see the body, when we use the mouth to use that body. When I think to raise hand, the hand goes up. When I think to bring the hand down, it goes down. Then how would I be convinced, I, whatever that I is right now, how it would be convinced that I am not this body? With all honesty, with my sincere efforts, I cannot. I cannot, because I is that body. That I, that mind I, has identification 100% with body. Otherwise it cannot speak. I go, I eat, I do, I am suffering, I am thinking, I'm desiring, I am wanting, I like, I dislike, everything is that I. How that I will say I am not the body? It will say, yes, I am the body, I am the thinker, I am the doer. And the whole teaching is, I am not the body, I am not the thinker, I am not the doer. Isn't it? You pick up any of them, one, and you will reach that. Non-doership, no ego, no body identification. There is no hard and fast rule that this is the method. No, any of these. But in my understanding, it is much easier to look for that and be with that and just stay as that. Then this identification in that light will disappear. When the sun shines, we see this word. But when that sun shines, this whole world becomes dim. It is there, but not there. It is there with that self only. Now, everywhere we see that self only. So that means there is an eye of wisdom which opens up the moment we know that. And that eye of wisdom is our internal eye, which is closed now. So there is like a door within our heart, which is not permanently closed. But yes, it is closed. So how much intellectually you want to understand, even if you have faith in a guru or someone, you can say, okay, look, I believe you because I trust you, but it is not my experience. Then you say, how can it be my experience? So I can say, I'm not talking from the books and I'm not talking from someone else's experience. This is me. And I will tell you, people should read Ashtavakra Gita like books, where the teacher has explaining what it is. And then the student is saying what he is in his experience now. So the transformation is so quick. Another very good book is Kevalya Navnitam, which is also very powerful, in which also the student explains how he knows and try to confirm with teacher. And I'll give you an example. There was one of the female cooks at ashram during Bhagavan times. I might not remember, Shri Ammal or something like that. she was always very quiet. And they said she had no persona, not talking to anyone. And this was in the book which was sent to me recently by Lataji by post on the chefs. So written by Ganeshanna. And he said, I was so interested in her because she never spoke to anyone. She was just in one corner sitting quietly, no one talking to her. Because her look was always like, better not to talk to her. So he said, but I was successful to break the ice, and eventually she told her experience that in Bhagwan's presence, she was feeling that ananda, that bliss, and the bliss, wherever she was, there was bliss and so much of peace. But she was not sure whether this is that. So one day she was sitting in front of Bhagwan and read a shloka, which meaning was that, is it that? And Bhagwan said, what else it can be? And she said, that was my last question of my life and the last answer I needed. Because in this world and things around, there are millions of things happening. I'm sure something you will like and dislike. It is very hard to say, I don't like anything and I don't dislike anything and I'm just out of it. We read news, we meet people, we do a job, we go everywhere. There are always opinions about things. And conditioned mind is also moving with us. And we get opinionated, maybe not strongly, but still subtle waves of admiring or disliking happens. Rag, dvesh in that mind is there. Look for that higher energy. Look for your higher self. And keep looking for that in spite of whatever the mind is, whatever the activities are. Your identification with the body, mind, that subtle ego, whatever, leave the whole apparatus. Because I have to say you are none of that. Then why to fix that? You might have heard a story of a king who went somewhere in forest and lost his memory, and then when the memory came, he remembered, oh, I was this king. Then he does not have to forget that he's just a wandering person in the forest. If that memory comes back to us, that what we are, then there's no need for de-identification. If you're not there, you don't have to repeat yourself that I am not the body. So just find that what we are, and rest will be sorted out, because rest we are not. Rest is all matter. That matter also gets energy from us only. If we are not there, there is nothing. The moment you go in deep sleep, the whole world disappears. Everything disappears. The body disappears. Nothing is left. Even, I have to say, when we are ignorant and there is identification with the body, this all is happening in us only. Illusion is happening in that. Seeking is happening in that. And yet, that in which it is all happening is just witnessing, not involving, not doing anything, not commenting. That awareness in which everything is happening is us. And rest all is just fake and illusion and struggle and whatever. If you catch hold of this truth, you can be free right now. But the moment you realize, you should only identify with that awareness, nothing else. Nothing short of it. Don't hold on to two together. Lose your grip, open your hand, leave this all matter, and just be that. Here we don't have to do too many things. Either de-identify with matter or identify with what is that. People following Vedanta, so many are liberated. They don't tell, they don't say, they don't come in groups, they don't teach. Or perhaps they might still be helping people around them. Just like that chef, anyone who knows about her. This intense internal work continues all the time. Ego and ego's cries and its likes, dislikes, everything appears like distant.
Sure, I'll use YouTube music. First, you'll need to connect YouTube music to turn on this extension.
This subtle pure energy is in all of us. It is within and everywhere. We just have to tune into it. We all have heard that we can't tune into it without a sattvic mind, without a pure mind. We can't tune without right contact. But there are exceptions, and I have seen people, even people who have not been that sattvic, still attained. Maybe their longing is so intense, they left everything, whatever this gadget is, and abided in that. Let's say you start staying in your inner silence. What is the pull? Tell me. Who can pull you out? Only you can pull yourself out. And you can only stay there. Though we can always say about circumstances and people and my situation, these are all lame excuses. No one to blame. Because it's your dream. You have created. All in this dream are forms coming out of you. If we have decided to stay in an inner silence, no situation can move us out. We talk about old habits, old tendencies to do things from the ego point of view. Yes, it might be seen in that energy, but you can't be pulled out of that. It's not that your all memories wiped off. Things you will still remember. You can still see those tendencies cropping up, but this light of consciousness is so powerful. And if you have decided to be there, recognizing yourself as that only, it will finish off all these small, it's like a small job for it, because that is infinite consciousness taking care of everything, taking care of our all gods and goddesses and whatever forms created in our mind and people's mind, and all these galaxies and all this looking infinite number of stars. It's taking care of everything, isn't it? This small mind of an individual is not a task for it. It is like an ant which has to carry a sugar crystal from a 1 meter distance. Might look long, but you will think, oh, it's nothing. I can help this ant. Once we recognize, abide in it, surrender to it, and be there. These names which we say, Ramana or Arunachala, is our surrender only, nothing else. Making sure the ugly head of ego is not raised, because every night in deep sleep there is no ego, but it is in dormant and it comes back again in morning. A person can be dead, body is dead, and then gets another body and the ego again comes. Unending drama of this ego creating this word sansar. So we are looking for the permanent solution, permanent end to it. And for that permanent end, we call for help. And that help is Ramana, that help is Arunachala. Or it could be any other name also. But make sure whatever name you take, that should be out of this illusion. Because who can help us to be out of illusion? The one who is out of illusion. So many people get glimpses of that, and then nothing happens for next couple of decades. Sometimes some people, even after having a glimpse, lose interest and they get involved in all sorts of things happening in life. And they always feel that there is something pulling us there, but find there is not that much motivation to be there. So whenever it happens, even if it happens for a fraction of a second, hold on to it and abide in it and surrender to it. Lose your identity, give up your identity of all sorts. We all are having so many identities, doing different tasks, different relationships. Put all your efforts now in this life. Don't leave anything for some other time. If someone asks me, what is the gain in knowing that? I will say only gain is that you are out of illusion, out of dream. Even if the dream illusion continues, you are out. You know the truth. The gain is you're out of birth and death cycle forever. The gain is you become the knowledge. You are the knower and you are the knowledge. The one who says, oh, this all is to get some happiness, I will say it's a stupid idea. I would say have a couple of drinks and you can be happy. Or go and watch a movie. Have a talk to your friend or, do something. Have a nice chocolate. You can be happy. Happiness is the only thing. Some transient happiness. Everyone is doing that happiness game. Do you think the others are fool? They are enjoying. The one on drugs, the one on parties, the one earning money, fame, they're all doing that only for happiness. It is not just happiness. And we all know it's not instant happiness also. It's not euphoric happiness also. And perhaps sometimes there is no happiness feeling. But still we stay. Because we don't want this transient happiness dependent on objects or situation. Something in us wants us to be authentic, not hypocrites, and not dependent. We want, if I am that self, which is the Sat Chit Anand, which is bliss, then I should feel that. Why should I not feel? What sin I have done? And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, the sinnest of sinner will get me if he wants. That is the biggest solace to us, that maybe we have read in news people do much more sin than us. So maybe we are not the worst. And he's saying, even if you are the worst, you will get me. In this book, I was reading about one of Bhagwan's devotee, H.C. Khanna. When Bhagwan passed away, he went to Himalayas, and he went up in the Himalayas and found a cave, and there was some sannyasi was sitting inside the cave with a long beard and ochre robes. And as we do, he went and he wanted to touch his feet, and he thought about paying regards to him. And that sannyasi asked, "Where are you coming from?" He said, "I'm coming from Arunachala." And he said, "Do you know Bhagavan Ramana?" That sannyasi asked, and he said, "I am his devotee." And the sannyasi touched his feet. And he said, "Please don't do that." No. He said, "Look, why are you here?" He said, "I thought I'll come to Himalayas because Bhagwan has left the body." He said, "No, you go back." And that sannyasi told his own story that he killed some people, and even his wife has no clue. And he went to Bhagwan and he said, I'm repenting, I've done this, and I'm full of guilt of this all. How can I is there any way I can be out and I can be knowing the self? Though I've gone so down I'm a sinner. And Bhagwan said, yes. He said, "Is this possible in this birth?" He said, yes. He said, "How will it happen when I am the killer of people?" Bhagwan said, "You be in that who is only the witness, not a killer. If you identify with that, you are free right now." And he told Bhagwan that he has left his family and all, and what should he do? Bhagwan said, "Just go to Himalayas and just contemplate on that." Contemplate on that all the time. Because our attention is on the matter, and we think I am the matter. You call it thoughts, mind, emotion, feeling, your internal matter or external matter of people and body and all. Understand this power of inner silence. It will keep us awake if we keep attention there and ready to merge in it forever. Vedanta calls it Turiya, or the fourth state. And as we stay in this awareness, definitely there is a lot of peace. Everything is so clear. Ego's habits, mind's activities, thoughts, emotion, everything is perceptible in that. And the feeling that they are just being observed, but not my thought, my emotion, my feeling, my body, that also drops. Abiding in this awareness, as awareness, and life continues. And the understanding gets much more deeper than that. That even these states and this awareness and all is in this, which is engulfing everything, which is in which everything is happening. Small things are happening, big things are happening. Yet that stays unaffected. And then in this understanding, further understandings gets deeper on its own, that nothing is happening. Only that is there. Rest all is just reflection of no value. Someone can say that this appears like stages. No. And it doesn't matter also. But I'm just telling the truth how something starts changing within, receding and acquiring some different understanding of everything. Then this is not in book, it is you. You know the truth. Our job is to stay in this pure awareness. Pure means that there is nothing but awareness. And that awareness makes us recede from forms and names and relationships and doership and job and all. Because we all are so much stuck up in our relative knowledge. Because we are made with our genetic makeup or our prarabdha or destiny to do something in this life, in that particular field. There's nothing wrong with that. Something in us wants to know the truth also. So this internal journey is not against anything, against our relative knowledge, against whatever profession we do, against the family in which we are living. That has to happen. That is prarabdha. There's nothing wrong with that. But no identification with that. Rather, I would say identification with awareness. It will sort out everything. Then the body moves, but you don't move. Body does, you don't do. Body suffers, but you don't. Because body has come with destiny, which it will fulfill. You have no destiny. You are unborn. It is like on a conveyor belt, long conveyor belt. You are sitting on an object on conveyor belt, which at the end will fall down, will be melted into another form. And you are so stick to that form that you think you are the form. But someone is showing, leave that form and just let go. And the moment you leave that form, that object on that conveyor belt, you are now identifying with the conveyor belt, which is always the same and stays the same, unchanging. It is witnessing forms coming and going, but it never changes. All waves comes from ocean. If we identify with ocean, loss of wave is not our loss. But if we identify with as wave, then yes, then we are coming and going in form of waves. All these ornaments people wear, let's say they are of gold, they keep changing forms. But if identification is with the gold, whether there is a form or no form doesn't matter. Same is things made with mud or clay. Clay stays clay. But this, what we all are made up of, which not changes, does not appear as objectively as mud or clay or wave, as water and all, which are perceptible. This is something inner, internal, can be perceptible with eyes of wisdom, not these eyes, not these senses. They all are useless to know that. Rather, when we make this mind vestigial organ, then it is known. While we pay attention to know that, we should also try to close all the holes from which this energy can dissipate, like our sensory indulgences. Because otherwise our interest will be in those things, not in our heart. We can't keep our energy there. So people who do both, they go nowhere. And it is not a sacrifice. There is no sacrifice. Nobody is doing any sacrifice that I'm not abstaining from this or that. If someone thinks I'm doing sacrifice or I'm better than others, they are actually boosting their ego. Some people think Bhagavan has done so much of tapas, he was wearing a kopina, living in a cave, he wanted to give us a lesson that you can live like this. No, a lot of people speak like this when they talk about Bhagavan. They have no clue about what was Bhagavan. Bhagavan had zero identity with the body. That's why he hardly cared about it. He knew he is the one who is ever present everywhere, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. Even if he would be wearing full clothes or living in a house, it would have made no change in his knowing. We had people like King Janak reigning the whole kingdom and yet enlightened. In the flow of this pure awareness, you cannot recognize anything separate. And it's not that Bhagavan, who was speaking from the body, could not see people. He could see. But more than people, he could see that same force is there in everything. And that same force, same power was his own identification. So when people wanted to please him, they wanted to feed him or give him gifts. But his identification was with all the people at ashram. That is why he wanted a fair distribution, because he is eating from all the mouths. But who understands this? And not just in the ashram, but outside ashram and everywhere. The moment we stop operating from our ego, it is very hard to identify others' ego. Because the channel, the medium through which we talk to others is similar. That is why we say vibes or frequency. With some people it matches, some people it doesn't match, even at ego level. But at this level, there are no different frequencies. It is the same. Everyone has the same. Egos have different frequencies, different grades, because they are all conditioned matter. And we have to match our conditioning with other conditioning. And if it is likable, we say, oh, we like each other. But in that energy of awareness, the someone might come to kill you because he is identifying with his own ego. You are identifying only with his awareness. No difference. All is one. You know it is a dream. He thinks it's real. You know he is not a threat. He thinks you are a threat. You are fearless. He is fearful. That is why, because of his fear, he wants to kill you. A man full of ego has no common ground with a jnani. How intellectual a person could be, or intelligent, buddhijeevi we say in Hindi. He is a jeevi, he is a jiva only. Proud of intellect. More a trouble. You go in India even nowadays, you see saints and sages in Rishikesh. They haven't done PhD. They have never been to school, so many of them. Yet they know the truth. For knowing that truth, you have to go in. Which school Lakshmi Cow went? Bhagwan's school. She attended Bhagwan's school. We are so fortunate. Don't underestimate the power of Guru. If you remember him, he will make sure that you reach home. But at least remember him. Remembering truth is liberation. Whether it is with practice or effortless. Samadhi coming with effort becomes sahaj only, because there is nothing except that. But remember, without efforts, nothing happens. Lower tendencies are in all of us, animalistic tendencies. For higher, we have to do something. If someone slaps you or says something, obviously you will be angry. But if you don't want to be angry, that is something you have to have, that courage, that strength, that patience, restraint, isn't it? But this effort also comes with grace. So much of grace. You just have to get ready for it. You don't know how much infinite energy we store. We all are faking that we are in illusion. We all are that. It appears to me sometimes that it is a drama everyone knows, but they are just faking, just so we can communicate something. Bhagavan has said, Ati Sulbham, easiest. And how many devotees Bhagavan had, and how many attained liberation. And do you see one in any scandal or any stupidity or after money or anything? Not even one you will find. This is the purity of Guru. Leave aside this Bhagavan thing. You can't trust anyone. All have stories. True or false, I don't know. Live the life, simple life they lived, all of them. You can pick up any Bhagavan's devotee. And also follow them up till the end. You will see signs of their liberation. When you join a coaching college to pass an exam, you try to see how many have passed, how many were successful. So the coaching college puts the board, this is the percentage, these people got first, second, this rank. I'm just doing that and tell you are at the right place. Take all teachings from the source, Bhagavan. And you can also take help from the other devotees also who have explained Sadhu Om, Murugnar, Annamalai. But you have to be ready for it. You should be 100% ready to come back home. Not dual mind. And keep that intensity alive by attending to satsangs, reading scriptures, doing practice. And whenever you get into your ego mode of agitation, unhappiness, and anger, or whatever negativity, watch it very carefully and don't be guilty about it. It only shows there's something is still left to be finished. Keep working on it. And at least we can share on a platform like this, where there are other fellow beings in the same boat. Otherwise, I know people feel very lonely and there is no medium to talk or to express or to help each other. Bhagavan always said satsang is so important. You go to Ramana Ashram website, you will see they have put the name of satsang centers. And I would say, I always encourage that in your own locality, wherever you are, find at least one person who is in the same pursuit, meet together. From 2, you might become 4 or 6 or 8, who knows. Not that we have to create some organization, but just for helping each others to elevate. In satsang, the energy becomes very high, very profound, because you are only remembering that. All those people are remembering that only. So that becomes very intense there. We are not discussing anything else. We are only discussing truth. Remembering it, abiding in it, trying to abide in it. Satsangs are 100% grace. Practice is important, but satsangs are very important. So good to meet everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.